You guys know Vizio, right? They make the cheap TVs that they sell at Walmart. Well, apparently they also make some pretty decent soundbars, and they're incredibly cheap. I bought this one at Walmart for 150 bucks, and today we're going to decide if you should buy this and use it as a computer speaker system. I was over at a buddy's house recently, and I heard some really incredible music in the room, and I looked over the TV and I said, is that coming out of the soundbar? And he said, yeah, it's coming out of the soundbar. And I said, where's the sub? And he's like, I put it behind the couch. It's a wireless sub. And I thought, oh, sounds really nice. Maybe it's one of the $800 Bose systems or whatever. And he said, that speaker system was only $150. And I said, how in the world can it be just $150? And he said, yeah, it's one of the highest rated ones on Amazon. Go check it out. So the next time I was at Walmart, I just picked it up. This is the 36-inch version. They make a few different ones, but I wanted the exact one that he had, and I wanted to make sure that I wasn't crazy. So this is the first time I've opened it, and surprisingly, this thing is really well equipped. It comes with the soundbar, obviously. It comes with one of the wimpiest little subwoofers I've ever seen, and this thing, it feels cheap, I have to admit. But look at all the cables that this thing comes with. Obviously, we have 2 power cords, 1 for each speaker here. I love the fact that the subwoofer is wireless. That makes things so much easier. But then we have mounting brackets if you want to mount it on the wall. We also have headphone jack if you want to go directly from like a cell phone into this. We have a digital cable. If you have digital audio, you can use that. We also have an included RCA to headphone jack here. And then they also give you an optical cable. Optical cables a few years ago were 50 bucks each. They threw it in the box for free. And it also comes with a remote control. So far, I'm incredibly impressed with everything they've thrown in the box, especially for 150 bucks. Let's go ahead and plug this in and see what it sounds like. All right, so it paired no problem. I've got a song pulled up here with lots of bass and with lots of treble. I love testing speakers with this song. Let's hear what it sounds like.
Due to copyright law, we have replaced the music with this incredible royalty-free song.
I can't believe that this little this is the smallest subwoofer I've ever seen in my life. This is the lightest subwoofer I've ever felt in my life. I can't believe the amount of bass that this thing is producing. It's incredible. For the price, for 150 bucks, this thing just blows me away. I see why this is one of the most popular soundbars in the world right now. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to hook this up to my computer, and for the next few days, I am going to use this soundbar exclusively as my computer monitors. 100% of what I do at work on my computer is going to be piped through this speaker, and then in 2 days, let's meet back up and I'll let you know what I think. All right, so I've been using this speaker for a few days now, and I've learned a lot. First of all, let me tell you what I'm comparing it to. About a year or so ago, I did a video about the computer speakers that we use on every single computer that we own. And it's 2 Polk Audio bookshelf speakers. Underneath the table, I have a 10-inch Polk sub, and everything is powered by a Sony 2.1 receiver. I feel like that setup is one of the best setups for the money. I think I spent right around $350, and because we have so many different workstations at Fstoppers, I think we have 6 or 7 identical setups with all the speakers and subs and receivers and everything. So I'm pretty familiar with the way these speakers sound. And I have to admit, when I first plugged the soundbar in, it sounded a little thin to me, especially with spoken word. I'm doing a lot of editing videos just like this. I know what my voice sounds like in these speakers, and it sounded much cleaner, crisper, but also there was a lot less bass and midtones in my voice. At the beginning, that was a little frustrating to me. But then after a couple days, it became normal to me. And then when I went back to my Polk setup, my voice was very difficult for me to hear and understand. You guys are probably familiar if you've ever watched a movie at home, maybe if you have a booming sound system and there's people talking, sometimes it can just sound like this. And it sounds so muffled because there's so much mids and bass in the human voice that it's very difficult to pick out what people are saying. That's why I turn the subtitles on every time I watch a movie at home. But when you think about it, that's what the soundbar is made for. This was not made for video editing. This was made to be used with a television to watch movies or TV shows with. and they want you to be able to hear what people are saying on TV. And so, although I didn't really like it at first, it's kind of been difficult for me to go back to my Polk system after becoming used to it. And although I did lose some of the bass and the human voice, I have to say I listened to a ton of music on this thing, and I think it sounds really good, especially for the price. I keep going back to the price because I don't think I've ever heard anything that sounds this good for $150. And then going into some of the other features, it's just really impressed me. I love the fact that there's a Bluetooth button right on the top of this. I can just easily reach it and press it. The receiver that I have that's powering my standard system, it doesn't have Bluetooth. I could of course buy one, but I can't easily reach it. It's so big and it's so far away from me. I love the fact that Bluetooth is right here. And then when I want to go back to the computer, I just hit the button right next to the Bluetooth button, and then boom, the speaker comes on and it's playing whatever is on my computer. I think it's great. Now, talking about the subwoofer, I have to say when I pulled it out of the box, I literally started laughing. It's just, it feels so small, so hollow, so cheap. But the fact that this thing is wireless has been awesome. I can plug it in anywhere in here. Sometimes subwoofer placement is super important, especially with these units like this where a lot of the midtones are being pushed to the subwoofer. You really have to place it in the exact spot to get it to sound good. And I'm able to do that so easily. With my other system here, I have to keep it up under the desk because it's so big, it's in the way, I have to run wires and everything. It's probably not an ideal placement, but I have to keep it there because of the size. Having something as small as this Vizio subwoofer has been really nice. Now, I've told you about all the connections that this has. I chose to use the optical input on my computer. I've never used the optical input before. It's worked perfectly. It sounds great. It's been super convenient. But if you don't want to use that or you don't have it, you could use a standard headphone jack. You could have the digital in. You could use RCA cables. There's really so many different ways that you can plug this in. It makes it work with any device you have. So I have one issue with this unit, and it's a very small issue. If I have audio only coming out of the left channel, that's how we recorded it in camera, I need to be able to easily hear that and then add it to the right channel in Premiere. Even though there's audio coming out of only the left side, a little bit of audio still comes out of the right. And so while I was editing some of my videos, I really had to get in there and go, wait a minute. And then when I would check the audio levels, I would see there's nothing coming out of the right side, but there was a little bit coming out of the right side. So for that reason, this is certainly not the ultimate option for video editors, but for 99.9% of people, this is the best sounding computer speaker system I have ever heard, especially for the price. And I've heard some great sounding Bose units that are around $300. They sound really good, but they do not get to the volumes that this does. And I've also found that a lot of the smaller Bose speakers, once you get to a higher volume, they start lowering the power of the subwoofer. So you'll start losing bass as you go up. I didn't hear that at all with this unit. So even though this isn't the ideal setup for a video editor like me, I feel like for 99.9% of computer users who are looking for better quality audio and they want something that looks nice on their desk, this is fantastic. I think I'm going to stick with my Polk system just because I'm so comfortable with it, but I am not returning this soundbar at all. I was prepared to return it, but I'm not going to. I'm actually going to set it up with our TV in the living room, and this is gonna be our standard sound system. I never thought that I would be satisfied with this, but I actually am. For more information just like this, but more photography related, head over to fstoppers.com. And if you'd like to check out our full-length photography tutorials, you can head over to fstoppers.com/store. I'm going to turn this thing on and listen to music one more time because this thing is awesome.